Now, the ultimate Bayern fan channel. Dylan Stevens. Bayern is like that one kid who got his heart broken freshman year and has been doing girls dirty ever since. In 2011-12, we lost the Champions League and the Pokal, and we became ruthless after that. That's pretty true. That's literally what Bayern are. But Serge Gnabry's coronavirus diagnosis, that's pretty crazy. Because 2 days ago, I was hearing that Serge Gnabry test, but this is how Germans are. They can never have it. German efficiency. He tested positive one day, and the next day, he tests negative. I don't understand how that works. So Hansi Flick said he won't be available for Frankfurt. So that kind of leaves the window open. I assume if you test positive for the virus, it means at some point you actually had it. So then you'd have to isolate. I'm actually sure about that. So I don't know what's happening with Gnabry. I don't know if he'll return the game after Frankfurt tomorrow, which is crazy. We'll get the preview out. Don't worry. What do I mean, whoa? It's just me. It's just me and you. So, yeah, but seriously, it's a very, very weird confusion here because technically he does have COVID, but then he actually doesn't have COVID. So the whole point of the isolation thing with the incubation period is that if you have symptoms, they show up and they disappear, and then you're okay to go and interact with other people. I'm not sure if he still has to quarantine, though. I'm not exactly sure. That's something that I need to go ahead and figure out. Where am I from? I don't know either. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think I have accents that scream. I could have any accent I want. I could have any accent. But seriously, though, I think the whole point of the diagnosis the day before is that, okay, he got the virus, and then the day after, he doesn't have the virus. So I think Gnabry could be returning a little bit earlier. And then again, you're thinking about the Bayern staffers that got it. Did they get it from Gnabry? Did they? Oh man, that's a little bit of a confusion. So that's the whole thing. He still has to quarantine. I mean, that's the thing though. I mean, when we were all talking about squad depth, we need players, blah 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 blah. I never really thought of COVID. I was only thinking about injuries and these things. But COVID-19 is probably one of the biggest issues for me in terms of keeping your players fit. In terms of just, I mean, after they return, it's pretty much an injury because you're not training with your teammates. You're not actually going in and interacting with people. And it's pretty, you might as well be injured. You might as well have just broken your hamstring. You might as well have just torn your ACL because that's what COVID-19 is. That's what getting it is. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you'd consider it an injury because he's out. So 10 days, I mean, that's a long time though, isn't it? That's still too long. No. He needs to return. He needs to return sooner. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, if Gnabry's, I mean, that's the best thing about having Douglas Costa and everyone else. Sané's back. Sané's going to be back for tomorrow. He's been back in team training. I am so ecstatic about that. But that's the best part about having depth is that you can actually replenish these losses. Let's say Coman gets it, Well, did Coman, he didn't have it, but he did come in contact with someone who had it. I mean, Germany's rules are so strict. I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't. That's too much for me, man. Imagine just having to sit home. Oh, man. Maybe that's why the U.S. isn't doing so great with COVID. But, yeah, I just, nah. I'm not really a big fan of the whole stay in your house thing. I'd break those rules very, very quickly. But, I mean, that's what makes, I mean, you saw this map. It's just Germany's doing so well and everyone else is going to hell. It's just red fire. And then Germany's just chilling. They're chilling. Seriously. So that's why they're doing so well with the coronavirus, because people actually listen. I wouldn't. I'd be leaving. I'd be doing everything possible to break those rules. But that's probably because of my personality. I don't really like staying inside a lot. I mean, I'm losing my mind. I'm so happy to be going back to school because I'm losing my mind in this house. So, yeah, that's the thing. So he's still going to have to quarantine, no? He's still going to have to quarantine. Benching Davies, I was reading that he would still have to be quarantined. Well, Flick said he wouldn't be available for Frankfurt. So I'm assuming... Well, he didn't say, well, he still has to quarantine. But then again, I guess that could be the case. It's still very confusing, though. So does Serge Gnabry have the virus or does he not have the virus? Because Lucas Hernandez, Pavard, Kingsley Coman, and Tolisso, you could argue, came in contact with Cristiano Ronaldo, who got the virus. And Germany's rules, I apparently think, is that if you get into contact with someone that had the virus, you have to isolate because, the symptoms, the incubation period. So, I mean, doesn't that same thing apply to everyone else? Because it didn't apply to Pavard and Lucas, who did come in contact with Cristiano Ronaldo, who did test positive on the same day. So that's confusing. So let's bend around those rules, okay? Let's do some tax evasion. Let's break some rules. Let's do a Leipzig. Let's bend it, man. Because you know what? If we can have Serge Gnabry tomorrow, I'm taking it. Because he doesn't have the virus, right? He doesn't have the virus. He tested negative, but still needs isolation. Oh, there we go. That's weird though. That's weird. Gnabry could be asymptomatic. Can't speak. I don't know what the hell that means. I'm sure that means he could have it but doesn't show symptoms. But that doesn't mean you test negative for it, right? Because COVID isn't. Yeah, I mean, he's an athlete. Most athletes don't even show symptoms because they have a very strong immune system. I mean, I know a lot about it. I don't really get sick because I'm strong, powerful, and amazing. So, I mean, I guess that's probably it. He says they said he has to be tested negative multiple times now, and he has to quarantine for a minimum of 10 days. So, well, but that's the normal incubation period because it's 14 days anyways. So, 10 days, that's not so. It's really just a confusion now because he doesn't have the virus, but he had it. Okay. I guess that's it. Let's talk about Frankfurt. Don't worry, the video is coming out. Asymptomatic. Okay, matic. All right, there we go. So this is gonna be short because I need to go work out and my arms are killing me, but I need to go work out more. I came to the conclusion that I need to build more muscles, despite the fact that my muscles are dying. So yeah, it's called a false positive. We played Frankfurt. Well, did we play Frank? Oh my goodness! I'm telling you, my arms are killing me. Nuba will develop under Neuer like Neuer did under Kahn and replace Neuer when he gets... Oh, Neuer didn't develop under Oliver Kahn. No, he didn't. So, no, that's not what happened. Neuer was already one of the best goalkeepers in the world at Schalke. He came to Bayern in 2011. He didn't develop under Oliver Kahn. I mean, Neuer is his own keeper. I don't see Neuer biting people. He certainly didn't learn from Kahn. I don't see him... I mean, he didn't do that. So I wouldn't say that's the case. Oh my goodness, man. I'm telling you. I don't know what's happening with my arms. They're actually dying. I mean, I should probably... did you read Flick's press conference today? I mean, that's pretty much what I'm assuming. But, I mean, he did say about the tight schedule, which I agree with. Everyone's complaining. And Flick's like, well, what are you going to do? Complain? You can complain to the air. No one's listening to your complaints, You're speaking to a giant wall. And that's just what he said. And about Tolisso, I'm so happy you just mentioned Tolisso. That's confidence. You know what? If Tolisso can build on this. I mean, these players, a lot of our players they do have the ability to be world class. Every single player we have has the ability to be at a certain level above everyone else. Every player has that talent. But for us, it's not about their talent, but their consistency, their injuries, their fitness. So that's really where Tolisso doesn't really give me faith because he does get injured a lot. So, I mean, Flick saying it, he did say Tolisso got injured a lot last season and he suffered from injuries. I mean, that's the thing. Injuries are very psychological, especially to players. When you're an athlete and you depend on your body and your body lets you down, I'm sure that's going to play a little trick on you. You're going to start thinking things that you shouldn't be thinking. So the same thing with Coman, the injuries. I mean, even when you watch Coman play, sometimes you can tell he doesn't want to get injured. He's pulling out of challenges. He won't be as dynamic, right? But then when he is dynamic, he never gets injured, right? It's kind of a weird thing. But then when he isn't dynamic and he tries to avoid getting injured, he gets injured anyways. So injuries are very psychological. And I think You know what? Flick saying it about Tolisso gave me a little bit of a perspective. Gaining confidence for Tolisso is important, and that's all we have. I mean, Frankfurt are gonna be hard, and that's why I'm so happy Sané's here, because I want to see Frankfurt's players. Absolutely. I want to see every nutmeg in the book. I want to see nutmegs. I want to see them absolutely destroyed, played off the park. I don't like Frankfurt, don't like anything about them. And that's why it's so nice to have depth. It's so nice to have Douglas Costa. Now, again, Douglas Costa is another one where if he could stay fit and if he could stay consistent in terms of his body and everything. Look at Lewandowski, you know? I'm sure there's a striker in the world that maybe could be a better dribbler than Lewandowski and maybe could finish everything, right? I'm sure there is. But Lewandowski's consistency is what makes him more world-class than every striker on this planet. I'm sure there are players that are faster than him. I'm sure there are players that are bigger than him and faster too. Look at Haaland, right? But Lewandowski's consistency and ability to just do everything correctly, keep himself fit, eat the right food. I don't know what he's eating, but he's not eating normal food. He's eating some human beings. We need to look into his diet. But Lewandowski, that's fitness for you. So that's pretty much what I'd say about Costa. Every single one of our players has a world-class ability in them. That's why we bought them. That's why they're a Bayern. You wouldn't be a Bayern without being able to be world-class. Even our young players, they have a world-class thing about them that makes them Bayern quality to a certain extent. And then it's up to them to show it. And sometimes, and most of the times, they don't with young players. And that's what we just need from Tolisso, Coman. I don't really care if they perform 10 goals a game, get scored from outside the box every second. I'm not a fan. I don't really think that's important for me. But all I need them to do is just somehow stay fit. Lucas Hernandez was the same way. I said Lucas could be world class. He could be like a Virgil van, impossible to get through. And he is. And that's because he's staying fit. And when you stay fit, it gives you confidence to try new things. And you know what? You're seeing it. Lucas is feeling confident. He knows he's in the starting 11. And that's something that gives you confidence. I've been out of the team, right? I play in real life. I've been out of the team. No, I've never been out of the team, let's be honest. I'm too good for all that. I mean, the only time was an injury. So, Sa should start tomorrow. Hey, what are you going to say? Tolisso was bullying Spurs by winning the ball. Damn, he wasn't good against Spurs. George, I missed you. I missed you too, Luis, Alejandro, Rudy, Orozco, Rumoro. I missed you too. I'm telling you, my arms are dying. Hey, they're dying. Why is my... No. It's that lactic acid thing everyone loves to tell me about. Sa has a speed of 35 kilometers per hour. How much is that in miles? I need that in miles. But yeah, Sa was poor against Atletico where he had about 2 minutes to, and I wasn't expecting him to do all that. I mean, you can see he has the technical ability, right? And I think he should start, by the way. I mean, that's the point of having a second option. Pavard isn't playing well. He's actually a liability. I mean, Ocampos was Atletico's best player in my eyes, and also in the eyes of many of the, who scored and Sofa scored, all these. They said, I mean, he was not Ocampos. I mean, that was against Sevilla. And then Ocampos was Carrasco. It's like almost every left winger that goes up against Pavard that has a little bit of just dribbling about them. They get through him. And you saw, I mean, he won the ball. I mean, first of all, he was out of position. And then the ball went through him. He went back, intercepted. And then the ball went right back to the guy. They just got past. It's like he's just standing there. And I think he's definitely losing confidence. So we do need to drop Pavard, in my opinion. Sometimes you just have to do that. You can't have players. I don't think Pavard's Philipp Lahm, and he won't ever be. He doesn't have the ability to be Philipp Lahm or Kimmich at right back. But I do think he has his qualities, and they're not showing right now. So that's why I would drop him. I would definitely drop him. Choupo-Moting needed a goal. I mean, he scored, was it 2 or 3? Yeah, he did score against Duren. So that's a huge thing for him. Thoughts on Sané against Frankfurt? Yeah, is he gonna play? I'm not sure. I'm not very sure. I mean, they do know how to play Frankfurt. I mean, they're like top of the league. Not top of the league. They're in the top 4 right now. So, hey, should we bring back the Bundesliga live table that I used to do? Man, but it's gonna take a lot of work, a lot more work that I want to do. Yeah, but the Bundesliga standings right now. I mean, Frankfurt haven't lost a game. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 games played, 8 points gathered. Yeah, I mean, they beat Hertha Berlin. Hertha in the relegation zone already. Oh my God! Just sack the Bruno Labbadia and bring Eric Ten Hag in. He'd love a project like that. But yeah, Frankfurt are fourth. I mean, yeah. So they have stuff to play for. I mean, that's the thing with Eintracht Frankfurt. They're one of those teams that just have good players. They have the quality to beat you, and they probably could. But it's just about taking onus. And we'll talk about Frankfurt a little bit more and who their best players are. But we do need to win that game, by the way. I mean, coming back from, why does it feel like we had an international break? I can't lie. It feels a little bit like that. Am I the only one that feels like we had an international break somewhere here? Yeah. The stupid light won't turn on. I'm telling you. The suffering I go through. How'd everyone like my painting? I think it was amazing. Muller will play at right wing. No, please, I beg. I don't do it. Don't do it to me. No. I watch Muller right wing. I don't want to anymore. I think I need to see him in the hole. I need to see him making runs and dragging people out of position. Yeah, the lineups tomorrow would be. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, we had some other things to do yesterday. I mean, you couldn't make a preview and then also talk about. Yeah. This schedule is pretty hectic. I mean, there's a game on Tuesday too. How am I gonna deal with that? I mean, dang, I'm gonna have to call in sick. George got COVID. That's what my school will think on Tuesday, and then I'll recover the next day. I tested positive or negative. So, who's texting me? They know I'm live at this time. When will Davies start? That's a good question too. God, that's a very good question. Davies was never out of form. I don't know what Flick was talking about. I maybe he just didn't train well, but I felt like Davies wasn't out of form. I mean, he got an assist, played incredibly well against Dortmund in the this DFL Super Cup. I'm not really sure why we're dropping Davies. If I'm being honest, I don't think Davies ever played bad. What game was it where you could have seen, he played terribly, and then Flick's gonna drop him? Because I don't know why Flick dropped Davies. Because, well, Lucas Hernandez played, but Alaba was playing. He was terrible. So if anything, Alaba was droppable. But Flick doesn't see that. Hansi loves Alaba. He loves this guy, man. He loves Alaba. He played well against Atletico, very well. I mean, if I did the match reaction, I would definitely giving him like an 8, his first 8 of the season, because honestly, that was probably his best game this season. And I'm so happy it was against Atletico, because if it was against like Arminia Belfield, everyone would be like, he won't perform against Atletico, he won't perform in the big games. And that was a big game, and he had a lot to do. Atletico did counter us, and Alaba was very much involved defensively and did his job. And he did above his job, and he did his thing. So for me, yeah, Alaba played well against Atletico. But before Atletico Madrid, out of form, Alaba wasn't in form, and I wouldn't have put him in there. So Flick will probably make changes though. So Tolisso suspended. So Muller has to play in that position because Goretzka and Kimmich will be in the midfield. So I'm assuming Douglas Costa is going to start because Thomas Muller can't be no. Unless Jamal Musiala is just going to be playing there. I wouldn't mind that either, to be honest. He was trying to humble Davies. We low-key concede a lot of goals when Davies plays. No, that's not true. I think we actually concede less when Davies is here. Alba's great with the ball, which is why Flick prefers him. Hernandez in possession isn't that good. Well, that's a weird misconception because I think Lucas Hernandez is actually a good baller, right? He's a good ball player. I don't think there's a major difference, but I do think Alba's best strengths are world class. I mean, I don't think Lucas's ability to move the ball in between the lines would be considered world class. I don't think so, but I do think he's very good at it, and that shouldn't be a reason why, if Alba's playing bad, he has to start, but Lucas also has to. No. I would still drop Lucas, not Lucas, Alba. Davies is fallen in for. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't think I understand it. But we're pretty much towards the end of the show. Leave a like on the video. Yeah, I don't understand that. That's pretty weird. Dortmund scored 2 and Hoffenheim scored 4. Yeah, there are 11 players on the pitch, and if you want to talk about who was at fault for goals, I mean, it was mainly our center backs. It was mainly Alaba. So I don't think. I mean, did Davies even play or start against Hoffenheim? I think he started as a winger. No, well, yeah, no. I don't think Hernandez is a better left back than Davies in terms of how we play and how he goes forward. Hernandez has to be at the. Yeah, someone just said it. Hernandez in the center, Davies left side. Please, we're begging, Hansi. That's all I want. Because Alaba's not. Well, and then again, now he's going to have to play because he played well against Atletico. But still, he hasn't been playing well. So I would probably do that. Hernandez, you a center back. Because Alaba keeps rejecting the I mean, that's another thing, too. I'd just do that. It was Pavard, not Alaba, to be honest. I don't think Pavard was. No, Pavard was not that. Well, Pavard gave the ball away for 1 goal versus Hoffenheim. And they did bypass his side. But I thought Alaba was worse because you'd expect him to be a little bit more imposing, and he wasn't. And there were so many situations where he'd go marauding forward trying to win a header, and then he'd miss it because the ball would be behind him, and all of a sudden they're in behind. Or, so he wasn't doing well. But that wasn't just that game. Against Sevilla, he didn't play well. Him and Pavard didn't play well. It's like we had 2 imposters. It was 2v10 in Among Us. So I'm not sure what everyone's talking about with Alaba. Alaba's forward passes are nuts, and they all are, but I just feel like that shouldn't be a great reason to not drop him when he's not playing well. I mean, it's not like, Hey, can everyone just kind of get what I'm trying to say? I think, in terms of form, Alaba was more out of form than Davies was. I think he plays Alaba so much to convince him to sign a contract. Well, I don't think that's. I mean, Alaba wants money, so Davies, Lucas, Boateng, Sa. Gila has to play. I mean, Pavard and Alaba are sus. I will agree with that. They're being a little bit sus. I saw them vent. They vented to the opposition goal line. They missed the tackle, so I saw them vent. So I do think they're a little bit sus. But that's again. But then you have to kind of. I mean, but you're not gonna just drop Big Bonus Sa. I mean, I don't think he has that type of Viagra in him that he's just going to turn up for a huge game against Frankfurt. You can't do that. But then again, that's why you have him, right? So you do play him when Pavard isn't playing well, or you do play Lucas when Alaba isn't playing well. And Lucas can't be a backup, by the way. That's just too much. I mean, he's playing very well. Penalty in Anfield. Alaba scores free kick from 30 meters. Alaba nails it. 50 meters. Packing pass. Alaba rocks it. Dribbling to the halfway line. Alaba knows how to. Alaba is better than Hernandez. And again, that's an opinion. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I'd say, well, Alaba and Hernandez is center backs. Nah, Niklas Jula has to play. I mean, that's discrimination at that point. If you're not going to play my son, you're just discriminating. What, you want to be a discriminator? We'll see what happens. Roca at CDM to rest Kimmich. Did Kimmich tell you he wanted to rest? I mean, this guy would probably break his balls to play for us and make sure he's available every one day. Kimmich could play today 120 minutes versus Real Madrid. He would play tomorrow 150 minutes versus... Kimmich doesn't get tired. Yeah, even though he did. Was it Hoffenheim? Yeah, he did get tired against Hoffenheim, but you could tell he was probably one of our most influential players. Yeah, 2 left-footed center backs is risky. When is Kouassi back? I think he performed very well in training, 50 or 45 minutes with the ball. So that's a huge, huge development. And when he gets back sooner, I mean, then we can start saying, well, let's play Kouassi. Yeah, and then he'll start playing. I don't know. But thank you everyone so much for tuning in today. I need to go get tough, get strong, powerful, big, feeling like Leon Goretzka, getting muscular. Don't worry. Oh, my God. Ugh. Hey, I feel big. I'm eating a lot of meat. I can't tell you what I'm eating, but I'm eating a lot of chicken. That's what I'm eating. Okay to rest Tolisso. Well, he's gonna have to rest because he's suspended for the next 3 matches. So he's out. Mia San Mia and peace. I'm out.